That is philosophy of how inherited beliefs quietly shape your entire life. Kai Nielsen did not treat belief as something sacred. He treated it as something serious. For him, a belief is not just a private comfort. It is a claim about how reality is, and about how we should live. That makes it a responsibility. He argued that blind belief is not simply believing without proof. It is believing without caring about proof. It is the decision to protect a belief. Instead of examining it, Nielsen saw that many people inherit their deepest convictions. The way they inherit a family name. They do not choose them. They receive them. They grow up inside them. They defend them, often without ever asking, are these beliefs actually justified? Dogma in Nielsen's view is belief that has been given immunity. It is placed beyond criticism. It is surrounded by emotional walls. It is guarded by fear, loyalty, and habit. Dogma says, if you question this, you are disloyal. If you doubt this, you are dangerous. If you challenge this, you are wrong by definition. Nielsen thought this was not just an intellectual mistake. It was a moral failure. Because to refuse to examine your beliefs is to refuse responsibility for the effects they have on you and on others. He insisted that if a belief shapes your life, your choices, your treatment of other people, then you owe it more than obedience. You owe it investigation. Nielsen's atheist perspective did not start with the conclusion that certain beliefs are false. It started with the demand that all serious beliefs must face the same standard: reason, evidence, and open criticism. He rejected the idea that some beliefs deserve a softer test because they are comforting, traditional, or widely held. For him, that is exactly how error survives. By asking for special protection, he argued that a mature mind must learn to separate what feels right, what is familiar, and what is actually supported by good reasons. What feels right comes from emotion. What is familiar comes from upbringing. What is supported by reasons comes from careful thinking and evidence. When these three are confused, blind belief is born. Nielsen believed that critical thinking is not an optional luxury. It is a duty, because unexamined beliefs do not stay harmless inside the head. They shape actions. They shape laws. They shape how we treat those who are different from us. He pointed out that dogma often hides behind noble language. It speaks of loyalty, identity, tradition, and community, but underneath it may be protecting ideas that cannot survive open debate. He asked, if a belief is true, why should it fear questions? If a belief is just, why should it fear criticism? If a belief is strong, why should it fear doubt? For Nielsen, doubt is not betrayal. Doubt is honesty. It is the mind admitting, I do not know yet if this is right, but I am willing to find out. He thought that real courage is not shouting your beliefs louder. It is being willing to revise them. A belief that cannot be revised is not a conclusion. It is a prison. Nielsen's secular ethics also attacked another form of dogma, the idea that morality must come from unquestionable authority. He argued that human beings are capable of thinking about right and wrong without appealing to absolute commands. We can look at consequences. We can look at suffering. We can look at fairness. We can ask, what kind of world are we creating with this action? Would I accept this if I were on the other side of it? For him, ethics is not about obedience. It is about responsibility. It is about owning the impact of what we do. He believed that hiding behind authority to justify our actions is another way of avoiding responsibility. It is right because I was told so is not an argument. It is an escape. Nielsen wanted people to grow out of this escape, to stand on their own reasoning, to say, I believe this is right, and here are the reasons. If the reasons fail, I am willing to change. This willingness to change is at the heart of his attack on dogma. Dogma says, if this belief is questioned, I must defend it at all costs. Critical thinking says, if this belief is questioned, I must see whether it deserves to survive. Nielsen did not think that a life without dogma would be empty. He thought it would be more honest. Instead of inherited certainty, we would have earned conviction. Instead of untested assumptions, we would have examined commitments. Instead of fear-based loyalty, we would have reason-based trust. He knew this path is harder. It is easier to repeat than to reflect. It is easier to obey than to think. It is easier to belong than to stand alone. But he believed that a truly adult mind cannot be satisfied with ease. It wants to know, is this true? Is this just? Is this defensible? Can I look at this belief from the outside and still respect it? Nielsen's challenge is simple to state and hard to live. Do not let your deepest beliefs be the ones you have examined the least. Do not let the ideas that guide your life be the ones you are most afraid to question. If a belief collapses under honest scrutiny, let it fall. If it survives, you will hold it more intelligently, more humbly, and more freely. In the end, Kai Nielsen's atheist and secular philosophy, it is about rejecting a certain way of believing. The blind way, the obedient way, the unexamined way. He calls you toward a different path. A life where beliefs are tested, where dogma is refused, where critical thinking is a daily practice, and where your mind is not rented out to tradition, but owned by you.